the Young and the Restless Spoilers. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful day to dive into the wild, never-ending drama of Genoa City. Grab a coffee, settle in, and let's unpack the latest chaos together because there is a lot to talk about today. And honestly, I need to vent. Let's talk about Patty Williams. You guys, I have been staring at the screen for hours trying to process what the writers are doing with Patty right now, and my head is spinning. So, Patty is back in town, and she is already causing an absolute hurricane of drama. But to really understand what is happening right now, we have to zoom out. We have to go all the way back to the beginning of Patty's descent into madness. Because if you've been following the show for a while like I have, you know that Patty wasn't always this unhinged villain. She was broken. And who broke her? Jack Abbott. Let's be real for a second. Jack Abbott has done some terrible things in his life, but what he did to Patty Williams is easily top 5. Maybe top 3. The path to Patty becoming a full-blown villain started with the most heartbreaking thing a person can go through, losing a child. And not just losing a child, but the way it happened. Do you guys remember the planter? I still get mad just thinking about it. Patty was so deeply, madly in love with Jack. She was thrilled to be pregnant. And then she walks in and catches Jack sleeping with Diane Jenkins. Yes, Diane. Because of course it was Diane. It is always Diane Jenkins ruining things. Patty is absolutely devastated. She runs out in a blind panic and she trips over a planter, a literal planter, and she miscarries the baby. It was tragic. It was the kind of trauma that completely shatters a person's mind. But wait, it gets worse. Because Jack couldn't just leave it at that. He had to twist the knife. Patty's hopes for having another baby with Jack were completely destroyed when he finally confessed the real reason he married her. He didn't love her. He married her to advance his career at Jabot. He used her as a stepping stone. That confession was the final push that sent Patty over the edge into total despair. And she shot him. Honestly, I'm not saying she was right to shoot him, but maybe I'm being too harsh. But you get what I mean. Jack pushed her to the absolute brink. So why are we dragging up all this ancient history now? Because the writers are dropping massive hints and the fans on social media are losing their minds. And I am right there with them. A few episodes ago, Patty actually brought up her miscarriage to Matt Clark, which is weird, right? Why is she trauma dumping on Matt Clark of all people? And then, out of nowhere, Diane has a dream. A very specific, very creepy dream that implies Jack and Patty's daughter is actually still alive. What were they thinking? Why is Diane having this dream? Is it just her guilty conscience finally catching up with her after all these years? Or is this classic Y&R foreshadowing? You know how they do this. They drop a weird dream sequence, and 6 months later, boom, a long-lost kid shows up at the GCAC demanding a trust fund. These two things, Patty talking about the baby and Diane's dream, have sparked this massive wave of speculation online. Fans are asking the obvious question, did Patty's baby actually die? Or did she secretly survive? We know Y&R loves a good rewritten history storyline. They love a secret child trope. So a grown-up Patty Cakes Jr. showing up in Genoa City is entirely possible. And think about the psychology here. What if Patty's baby lived and Patty gave her up for adoption specifically to punish Jack? What if she wanted to make sure Jack never got to know his child because of what he did with Diane? It's dark. It's twisted. It is so perfectly Patty Williams. But there's another angle here. What if the baby wasn't Jack's? Some fans are pointing out the timeline from way back in 1984. Patty was involved with Danny Romalotti before she left town. Could Danny be the father? I mean, Danny is currently dealing with Christine getting arrested over that AI evidence mess with Phyllis. So throwing a secret 40-year-old child into his lap right now would be hilarious and chaotic. But let's get to the real meat of the gossip. If Patty has a secret kid, who is it? On the soap forums, people are throwing out wild names. Some people are saying Tessa. Some people are saying Sharon. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but let's debunk that right now. Sharon is way too old to be Patty's kid. The timeline makes zero sense. But then again, timelines on this show are basically suggestions, so who knows? The most popular theory for a daughter, Sally Spectra. I was reading a comment on a message board last night that said, if they do this, I bet it's Sally Spectra. No Abbott or Newman ties, and suddenly my brain just stopped. Sally, think about it. Sally has no biological ties to the Abbotts or the Newmans. She's currently dating Billy Abbott, well, barely, since she just crashed her car and lost her baby after Billy accused her of cheating. But imagine the absolute mess if Sally finds out Jack Abbott is her father. That would make Billy her uncle. Gross. Nasty. But totally the kind of messy drama this show loves. And look at the parallels. Sally just lost her baby, Ava, and now she just had a miscarriage after a horrific car crash in the rain. Patty lost her baby after tripping and falling. The generational trauma of tragic miscarriages. It's poetic in a really depressing way. But wait, there's another candidate for the secret daughter, Sienna Bacall. Yeah, Sienna. The crazy girl who is currently supplying Nick Newman with drugs and who literally stalked Phyllis into a dark basement and knocked her out to rescue Matt Clark. Sienna is fiercely, violently loyal to Matt. She is completely unhinged. You know who else is completely unhinged? Patty Williams. Maybe the crazy is genetic. Maybe Sienna is Patty's daughter and she inherited her mother's absolute lack of impulse control. But let's pivot, because there is one more theory that completely blew my mind. What if the baby wasn't a girl? What if Patty had a son? And what if that son is Matt Clark? I know. Take a breath, but hear me out. Why did Patty instantly bond with Matt? When Matt was faking his amnesia, Patty stepped up to be his reluctant guide. She tried to help him navigate Genoa City. She understood his isolation. She literally trauma dumped about her dead baby to him. Why? Because maybe on some subconscious level, she felt a maternal pull toward him. And how did Matt repay her? He rejected her. He told her he works alone and he doesn't trust her. And Patty snapped. She completely lost it. The rejection triggered her deep abandonment issues, and now she is literally calling Victor Newman and offering to sell Matt's location for $2 million. Hell hath no fury like a Patty Williams scorned. But imagine the absolute tragedy if she just sold out her own biological son to the ruthless Victor Newman. Victor is probably going to have Matt killed to protect Nick. If Patty finds out Matt is her son after Victor eliminates him, oh my God. The emotional fallout would be catastrophic. This whole situation is just a powder keg. And zooming out, look at how this fits into the bigger pattern of the show right now. Jack is currently trying to manipulate Patty to use her against Victor. Jack is playing with fire. He ruined this woman's life decades ago, and now he thinks he can just pull her strings again. Jack is so arrogant. And meanwhile, Diane is having dreams about Patty's baby while her own marriage to Jack is falling apart. Diane just caught Jack in a compromising position with Nicky Newman. Before that, she caught him on a boat with Patty. Diane is threatening divorce. Jack is panicking. And right in the middle of this toxic Abbott mess, the ghost of Patty's lost child is haunting them. I don't know who actually believes this is going to end well. Jack is manipulating a deeply traumatized woman. Patty is extorting Victor. Matt is running out of time. And somewhere out there, a secret child might be walking around Genoa City completely unaware of the absolute circus they belong to. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe Diane's dream was just a dream. But you guys know the writers. They don't just drop the word miscarriage and secret child in the same week by accident. Something huge is coming. The only question is who the kid is and who is going to survive the fallout when the truth comes out. I am so tired, you guys. This show is exhausting, but I can't look away. Let me know in the comments who you think the secret kid is. Is it Sally? Sienna? Matt? Or someone we haven't even thought of yet? I need to go lie down and process this. I'll see you guys in the next update.